Chapter 252 The Second Spirit. Skydream tossed his head from side to side. Create life. That's not possible, and neither am I the creator. How do I put it? I can call this pseudo-life creation, I guess. My life origin imprint has been preserved extremely well. Under such circumstances, I can be considered independent after completing the pact with you. The Snow Empress life imprint integrated with her embryo when she was converting to it, and her life imprint ultimately dissipated with her divine sense when the polar reversal happened. A situation that will definitely arise when human soul masters assimilate spirits. I'm different, as I had already fused with you beforehand, and I was a lot more powerful than you were back then. So my life origin imprint was excellently preserved. It is the reason why I can rely on my own life energy to absorb the origin energy of heaven and earth to sustain my own life energy after existing independently from our pact. However, that doesn't mean that I can create life. I don't have to rely on your strength anymore, but I still have to rely on this pact between us. My body will crumble without this pact, and that also means that everyone will still perish if you die. Me, the Snow Empress, and the Ice Empress, who is yet to awaken. I'm different from them because I can leave your body for a short period of time, and I don't have to return to your body on normal days, although these are only the main differences. Of course, I have more autonomy, even though I've given my spiritual imprint to you, and I can no longer unleash all those spiritual type abilities by myself. My life energy has given me another way to help you. I'm a million-year spirit, and also the only million-year spirit on the entire continent. I can't be entirely useless, can I? Skydream was feeling a little proud at this moment. Release your martial soul and take a look. Who are you? Al followed his instructions and released his spirit eyes. He was the only person in the room, so there was no need to hide the color of his soul rings. 5 soul rings appeared one after another, 1 white and 4 black soul rings. His imitation had become a 10,000-year soul skill when he absorbed Skydream's spiritual power. However, Who are you? Al had no attention for his 4 black soul rings. His eyes were immediately fixed upon his first white million-year soul ring. This white soul ring was clean like jade under normal circumstances, and was not much different from a 10-year soul ring, and it wouldn't display golden patterns like the Ice Empress's soul ring. However, the white soul ring was now different. A soul ring was a virtual projection of light shaped like a circle. Light was transparent, and only varied in terms of color and how bright it was. At this moment, Who are you? Al could clearly feel that his first soul ring was no longer made of light. The white soul ring drifted into the sky, and Who are you? Al could immediately feel that his 4 spiritual type soul skills could be unleashed at any time. However, this white soul ring seemed like it had become entirely material. He raised his hand subconsciously and attempted to touch it. His hand would go through his other soul rings, as how could one touch light? However, Who are you? Al felt warmth on his fingertips when he touched his first soul ring. Yes, that was a real sensation. The white ring had become tangible and solid, and felt like it was sculpted from jade. Who are you? Al touched it gently, and he could feel as if his own spiritual power was being caressed. Skydream jumped lightly and flew up before Who are you? Al's eyes. The soul ring has become solid. This is the power of my million-year spirit. Watch carefully. Skydream's body contorted as he spoke, and he landed on the solidified soul ring. His body immediately turned golden as he started circling around the solidified soul ring. Circle after circle of golden light began encircling the first soul ring, and the soul ring actually turned golden in the blink of an eye. The soul ring drifted into the air and paused for a moment above Who are you? Al's head before floating forwards, and a golden layer of light covered the entire soul ring, transforming into a golden shield that was about half a meter in diameter as it hovered in front of Who are you? Al. A shield? A shield? Who are you? Al asked with astonishment. Life reflecting shield. This is my spirit's ability. What do you think? The name is really cool, isn't it? Sounds pretty normal. Who are you? Al answered truthfully. Normal? Skydream's voice became several pitches higher. You actually think it sounds normal? Do you know that my life-reflecting shield uses my own life energy as its foundations, and it's completed by using your spiritual C as a framework? It can reflect any physical and spiritual attack. If your opponent is weaker than you are, everything will be reflected, and the attack will be partially reflected even if your opponent is stronger than you are. You have to take everything else, but the life-reflecting shield will absorb and dispel part of the attack, and my life energy will take the hit. The strike will never touch you unless my life energy can't take it anymore. Who are you? Al's eyes widened. This wasn't just better than normal. That was a godly skill that could protect his life. However, Who are you? Al immediately thought about a few issues, and hurriedly asked, Brother Skydream, what's the surface area that this shield can cover? How many times can I use it in one day? If my opponent's attack is too strong, will you get hurt? Skydream was satisfied with Who are you? Al's questions, and he said happily, you do have a conscience after all, and you're concerned about me. You can use this shield as many times as you want in theory, but in reality I recommend that you not use this shield more than 3 times in a day. It isn't because I'm afraid that too much of my life energy will be expended. It's actually because this skill uses your spiritual C as its framework. I am expending life energy when using it, but you will be consuming spiritual power. If you use it too much or inappropriately, you might even damage your spiritual origin. 3 times a day is the most reasonable number. I don't think you have to think too much about what happens when the opponent's attack is too powerful. If your opponent's strike is so powerful that it can obliterate my immense life energy in its entirety, what chance do you have left to live? We will just die together. The consumption of my life energy is related to the reflection. Do you still remember your life guardian blade? It can absorb other physical beings' life energy, while my life reflecting shield can absorb any living being's life energy. More accurately put, when my life reflecting shield reflects the opponent's attack, the reflected attack will definitely take effect on his or her body and cause harm, which will be converted into life energy to replenish my own. This means that consumption is not a big deal for me unless the opponent is way too powerful. My life energy can also be replenished through you, or if I eat something for restoration. Of course, I only eat good things, and I've been eyeing and craving that grilled fish of yours. Make a few for me to try when it's convenient. Who are you? Al's heart was racing. The grilled fish is easy. What about the area of effect? Skydream answered mildly, only in front of you. Were you hoping that I could provide a 360-degree protective barrier for you? No. Frontal protection is enough. Who are you? Al stared at the shield before him. In Audie's good fortune, he had always been lacking in terms of defense. The Ice Empress armor was no longer enough to satisfy his defensive needs, and this was especially true since the Ice Empress was still in hibernation. So his Ice Empress armor couldn't evolve any further. He hadn't dared to meet force with force when he faced off against Wang Qia, but similar circumstances in the future would be a lot different now that he had this life-reflecting shield. There's nothing I can do against Soul Tools. I can only block Soul Master's attacks. Skydream added thoughtfully. You can't block Soul Tools, but Soul Tools are also released by Soul Master's soul power. Who are you? Al asked in surprise. Skydream shook his head and said, I've said before that this is a life-reflecting shield, and I can only rely on the sensation of my life energy to reflect attacks to ensure accuracy. Soul Tools are fired through metal components, and there's no way I can sense that. The defensive capability is still there, but there's no way I can reflect that attack. This is especially true for those stationary Soul Tools, and my defensive capabilities will probably be worse than normal against them. Therefore, you should try to avoid using this skill when you're dealing with Soul Tools. All right. Who are you? Al acknowledged. He was already extremely satisfied despite that limitation. In the end, a soul skill couldn't be all powerful, as wouldn't one be invincible if that was possible. Skydream's soul skill was already a great boost to his defensive capabilities. Skydream yawned. All right, that's all. I'm going to sleep now. Don't disturb me. His body stretched as he spoke, landing on Who are you? Al's left hand as he spoke. He wrapped himself 5 times around Who are you? Al's 4th finger, transforming into a multi-spiral jade ring. If one didn't know what it was and perceived it with the naked eye, nobody would be able to tell that this was actually a life form. Who are you? Al was a little exasperated and at a loss as he stared at Skydream. He decided to pick this place. Who are you? Al was still wearing his Starlight Sapphire storage type soul tool on his middle finger on the same hand. He was now wearing 2 rings on the same hand, and he was starting to look like a parvenu. Can you find another place to rest, Brother Skydream? Why don't you return to my spiritual sea to sleep? Who are you? Al probed. No. I'm not going back there. It's so boring inside. I will not go back unless you can wake her up. Furthermore, I need to absorb nutrients from heaven and earth to sustain my life energy in my semi-life form state. Are you asking me to absorb your life energy from within your spiritual sea? When Skydream mentioned the Ice Jade Empress Scorpion, Who are you? Al hurriedly asked, how is the Ice Empress, Brother Skydream? Is she all right? Skydream sounded a little gloomy as he said, she's alright, but she expended too much energy when she burned her origin back then, so she needs a longer time in hibernation to recover. If you come across any ice-type herbs or whatnot, you should eat more of them, as that will help her recover. Oh, I miss her so much. I am going to find her in my dreams, so you better not disturb me. When you want to use the life-reflecting shield, just release your martial soul and channel soul power into my body. I will release the shield naturally. Alright. You can go ahead and sleep, and I'll get something delicious for you to eat afterwards. Huo stared a little helplessly at Skydream. He had lived for 1,000,000 years, but he had probably spent more than 999,000 years sleeping. Hey, wait a minute. Skydream was just about to fall asleep when he abruptly sprang up from Huo's finger and hovered before him. His tiny golden eyes were full of doubt and confusion as he silently levitated above Huo's left hand, as if he were trying to sense something. What's wrong, brother Skydream? Skydream shook his head and signaled for him to be quiet. Skydream's tiny eyes sparkled with faint golden light, and Huo's spirit eyes were naturally released in the next moment. Huo felt the waves in his spiritual sea become tumultuous as waves of spiritual power were released one after another, while Skydream's body gradually turned golden in color. Skydream could still use Huo's spiritual power, as they were connected through the pact after he had changed into a spirit. But this deployment was different from before. Skydream was using his own strength before this, but he could only use Huo's strength now, and Huo could immediately stop the process if he wasn't willing. Skydream drifted forward after he turned golden and landed on the starlight sapphire ring on the middle finger of Huo's left hand. He flew into the air once more after a short moment. His voice sounded solemn as he said, "Why do you have a spiritual imprint in your ring, Yuao? No, this should be a spiritual seal, and it's extremely powerful as well. Do you know that it's dangerous for you if others' spiritual imprints remain attached to you? They can spy on you, and they can even trigger some things in your body to cause you harm. Maybe they will even choose the most important checkpoints of your cultivation to disrupt you. Quickly, take it out. I will help you dispel that spiritual seal." Spiritual seal? I don't think there's any. Huo answered in shock. His spiritual power was formidable, and there was no way he wouldn't know if someone had left a spiritual seal on any of his possessions. Huo suddenly thought about something. He realized what was going on, and he said, "I know what you're referring to. There is no need to worry, brother Skydream." He raised his left hand as he spoke. The starlight sapphire ring flickered with blue light, and a tiny patch appeared in his hands. It was the one Wang Donga had handed to him back then. Skydream's head swayed faintly, and he immediately nodded and said, "Yes, this is the one." "What's this?" Huo said. "The Clear Sky Sect leader asked Wang Donga to pass it to me. It's a pouch, and I don't know what's written inside. Uncle Nui Tian added a seal so that Wang Donga wouldn't take a sneak peek at its contents, but I can't open it yet because my cultivation isn't high enough. I reckon it probably contains some words of encouragement." Skydream insisted on his opinion and said, "It's not a good thing for you to have someone else's spiritual seal on you. Let me help you open it." Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.